Hello. I was going to say good morning, but I know it's not morning for most of you. It is my morning. Happy Friday. It's all of our Fridays, so that's great. I'm really impressed you're here in the afternoon on a Friday, so kudos to all of you. So today we're going to talk a little bit about a Toniebox, which is a pretty cool educational gadget that you could use in your classroom. And if you have kids of your own, you'll definitely see it's a pretty cool thing to have in the home as well. So first off, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I've been a teacher for 11 years. I taught English in Santiago, Chile for a couple of years to adults and children. Then I moved to Austin, Texas, and taught there third, fifth, and second grade for about 7 years. And now I'm in Denver, Colorado, teaching bilingual education for third and fifth grade. So I especially love working with underserved populations and English language learners. So first off, I saw in the questions that most of you had that most people were like, what the heck is a Toniebox? I don't have any questions about it because I don't know what it is. So first off, it's an imagination building, screen-free digital listening experience. So you can play stories, songs, you can even record your own things that can play from it. It's really easy to set up. It's accessible for kids 3 and up, maybe even younger. And you can customize by using some of the creative Tonys that we'll talk about, which really, in my opinion, is the coolest feature and probably the way it would be most useful academically in the classroom. So I wanted to just show you a video so you can kind of familiarize yourself with it before I kind of show you some of the things you can do in action. So I'll play this video and maybe just give a thumbs up if you can hear or let me know if you are having trouble hearing the video.
In this video, we'll explore how your Toniebox works. You'll need a Toniebox you've already set up, and access to 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi. Check out this video if you need help setting up your Toniebox. Put the Tony on your Toniebox and keep an eye on the LED light. If it flashes blue, wait for the story to load before proceeding. If the LED is green, you're ready to continue. Remove the Tony from your Toniebox to pause. Replace the Tony to pick up where you left off. Tilt the Toniebox to rewind or fast forward. Give it a tap to skip one chapter forward or backwards. Whoops, no worries. Let's keep going. You can change the tilt and tap direction or even switch off the function completely in your Toniebox settings. To save any changes, simply sync your Toniebox. To do this, remove the Tony and press and hold one of the ears for 3 seconds. The Toniebox ears also control volume. Use the small ear to lower volume and the big ear to turn the volume up. A maximum volume can also be set through the app. Now again, briefly, sync your Toniebox one more time and ready! Need support? We're here to help. Happy listening.
All right, so that just gives you a little bit of an idea. Basically, that's what I learned from opening the pamphlet that came with it, just kind of how it works, some of the tools, and how to access it. So I wanted to just show you a few things about it first before I tell you kind of how I think it could be utilized in an elementary classroom, some of the pros and cons. So here I have mine. I've charged it up, and all I had to do to set it up, it probably took a minute, maybe 2. You have to have Wi-Fi access the first time you set it up. After that, you can take it with you. It's portable. It's got a plug-in charger that's charges pretty quickly, so that's nice. And then I have a few different little Tonys here, so I'll just show you. All I have to do is set it on there. This is my favorite one because you're gonna love the song. But once you set it on, it starts. Oh my goodness. Oh, there we go. I didn't turn it on. My niece really loved that one. That's her favorite song. So and you can take it off. It stops it immediately. You can put a new one on. Here's a troll. This is a place like no one's ever known. Several of these ones I have, so there's ones that have songs, there's ones that have information like about dinosaurs or planets or things like that. And then there's some where you can create your own. So all I did was this morning, I quickly recorded something. So if I put this on, you'll hear what I recorded. Hello and happy Friday. So it's always fun to hear your own voice coming out of a recording. But yeah, so they have ones with songs, again, books, audiobooks. That I didn't get any of those, but I actually think that's a really cool way to use it in the classroom because students could listen and follow along. So yeah, and then as they said, you can turn the volume up and down here. Any changes you make, all you have to do is click one button and it syncs it. So if I wanted to record a new message for you all on the app, which I'll show you in a little bit, all I have to do is sync it and it's ready to go as fast as, a couple of seconds. Excuse me. So as far as using a Toniebox in the classroom, these are some of the ways I think it's most important. First of all, if you're using one of those creative ones where you're editing the content, you have 90 minutes on each one. So you can customize lessons, activities, directions for an activity, or you can have students record themselves reading where another student could follow along with them, a student sharing information about a topic they learned about, essentially doing a recording of a presentation. The possibilities are pretty endless with the customizable one. You can use it for classroom centers, and I'm going to show you an idea that Tony's has for that here in a moment. I don't know how it is currently wherever you are, but I know in the United States where a lot of people are moving away from centers, but I think the idea of it is still great. Just the idea of having some different places to go in the classroom to either listen to songs or hear a book or maybe listen to one of those that's just sharing information if you're doing a planets unit or whatever. I also think it could be really helpful as a calm down center or area. I have the volume up to the very max, but you can set it so it's a little quieter so kids have to get pretty close. And I think just that act alone and just how kind of quiet the book or song could be pretty soothing. So I think that's a great idea is to use it as like a calm down zone if you have one of those, in your classroom. Also great during independent work time. I saw some cool videos of kids just listening as they were working or during art class while they were doing art. Just kind of something to spur the imagination and not be a screen. Also during independent or partner reading, because again, listening to reading we all know is really valuable, especially when it comes to vocabulary, but then also students could follow along if you have the actual printed text. And then lastly, just as a reward, especially if you maybe just had one, maybe it's something that students can kind of earn time to use. That's up to you. But yeah, there's a lot of options when it comes to that. So just a moment about the creative Tony, because this is the one that's really special. From the app, and I'll show y'all in a second, you can record, anything. You could record audiobooks. You could have students' families record and send it to the app. Students could record, their siblings could record. That to me is the coolest feature. So it even means that I thought this was so special. I'm lucky enough to have my parents here now, but you could have somebody's grandparents across the country, or in a different country, could read a book and the child could hear it in real time. I mean, seconds after they've recorded it and follow along to a loved one's voice who's not close by. I think that's really, really cool. They have 90 minutes on here, so you can hold up to 90 minutes. So again, the possibilities are pretty endless here. You could give instructions for an activity step by step. Students could listen as many times as they need by having it repeat. They could move on when they're ready to the next set of directions. I think it's a really cool way for students to share some things they've learned because, again, students could record on the app to answer a question you have. You could use it as a way to kind of informally assess, what have you learned about blank? Or maybe prior to starting a new unit, what do you think you know about magnetism? And each student could record, and then you can just listen from your phone, even if students have recorded it. You could listen while you're, in transit somewhere. So I really think that the creative, Tony, is where a lot of the possibilities lie. As far as strengths and some areas for advancement, I would say a strength is just lessening screen time. We're all over it, right? Kids they rely on the screens too much. We do as well. It's great for building imagination because unless you have the text, they're having to picture everything themselves. Like I said, I think it's pretty calming and soothing. It's accessible for children of all abilities, really durable. I mean, it has padding on it. These guys are pretty durable too. Maybe some areas for advancement. Older students, and I don't think this is their target audience, but older students probably wouldn't be as interested. It might feel a little, little kid for them. That depends on the child, though. I think it totally depends. In Based on what I've seen from these, I would say, up to like third grade, most kids would probably enjoy it. Especially though, I think the real target audience is that young, pre-K, kinder, that younger age. But I know I taught third grade and I have a lot of students who would really love this. The volume, once I have it at the max, I think it's fine. Depending on the scenario, if the classroom's kind of loud, it might be nice to have the volume louder. That's something I've thought of. Again, listening to it here in my home, it's fine. But if it was a noisy classroom, and then the price point, I think without any kind of discount, it's about 110 US dollars, and it comes with a Tony. And there's some different bundles out there. They do have a military and educator discount, which puts it below 100 US dollars, and you can get 10% off your first purchase. So a little pricey, but I mean, it really does seem high quality. I was hesitant at first, and then when I kind of started playing with it, I saw this is pretty cool. It's also something that would be an easy, if it was for your own child or friends, somebody's children, it's an easy gift to get that's pretty cool, or for parents to, donate a Tony by just buying the individual Tonys, which range from like 10 to 15. I wanted to show you how easy it is to do the creative Tony. So here I have it. All I have to do is open the Tony's app on my phone, and I already have this one logged. Once you've set it on top of the Tony, it logs into your app. So I will just, let's see, I can record anything right here. So let's see. Thank you for coming to this tutorial. Hope you have a great weekend. Okay. So I'm going to delete that previous one I had. It would play that if I have multiple recordings, it would play that in that order. So since I just recorded this, all I have to do to sync it, any changes you make, you just have to hold down this larger ear. And then once you hear that sound, it's synced. So if I put this Tony on now, it'll play what I just recorded. Thank you for coming to this tutorial. Hope you have a great weekend. So again, pretty cool. You can do it and it's on there in a second. Again, to me, that's the biggest pro of a Toniebox, that you can customize it and make it work for you and your classroom. I do see one question. So does it have a story length limit? Are you referring to if you're the creative one? Yeah. Okay. So that one has 90, you can hold up to 90 minutes. And then for most of these, they're like 45 minutes of content usually. So you need Wi-Fi just for the initial setup. After that, it can work without Wi-Fi. So you could take it in, I mean, even in the car, like I thought about that would be fun for parents and stuff like that. Yes, sorry. So you get an educator discount, and I want to say that's already about a 10% discount, maybe more depending on the price. And then the Tonys themselves are also a little discounted. But again, when you buy it, you always get one with it. I think they give you the creative Tony with it automatically anytime you buy a box. So you don't just have a box with nothing. From there, you could either buy a bundle where it comes with multiple, or you could just start with this and then you buy some individual ones. Thank you. Bye.